What is karma? What is self-inflicted karma? Self-inflicted karma is when you create your own lessons and repeated cycles based off of your own personal negative thoughts, negative feelings, and negative experiences. How does self-inflicted karma affect your life? So when you have these negative feelings or negative thoughts or negative experiences, what happens is you begin to plant certain seeds in certain areas of your life. So for example, let's say you went through something that had evoked fear in you. That fear will find a place in your body and your energy where it will plant a seed and grow. So your fear may go to your throat chakra. Let's just say that you have issues with your finances. Your financial loss may connect to your third eye. Let's say that you have issues with love and relationships. That may be something that connects to your crown. What ends up happening is these negative feelings and negative thoughts will find a place in your life to pretty much will really plant themselves and settle down. They grow into a certain, like a plant almost, and that plant begins to bear fruit. What ends up happening is that once it becomes rooted, it starts to turn into your own personal reality. So it's almost like a Velcro effect where it sticks to you. It kind of plants itself in that area. It becomes a part of your life, almost like a limb, like a hand or like a foot. You get so used to it because it's a part of you. It sticks to you. It grows within you. And because it becomes a part of your reality and it feels so natural, literally you begin to live in that reality. So it becomes rooted in, it's like a cause and effect situation. Again, this is self-inflicted. So it's based off of things that you've been through and you've decided to keep that within your own life. And because of that, when you plant those seeds, they grow into a harsh reality, which turn into different lessons, different repeated cycles, and situations that feel that just it adds on to that not so good feeling that you're currently living and repeating in your life. How would I know if I have self-inflicted karma? How do you know you have it? What you're currently going through, you're repeating cycles. You only seem to get so far in your life. It almost seems like no matter what you try to do, no matter what happens, you always end up back at square one. You always feel like no matter what happens, you can be going 100 miles an hour. You can be doing this and that. You can be doing this healing session, that healing session. You can be doing this self-reflection, that self-reflection. What ends up happening is you always end up back at square one. You may have situations where you always have temporary relationships, or you always attract the same type of people. Maybe you go through cycles with your finances where you may notice that your finances kind of repeat the same cycle over and over again. It may be a time where you are abundant, then you just are not abundant anymore. Or you only get but so far. No matter how much money you try to make, no matter what you're doing, you always end up back at square one, where you always end up in a form or a sense of lack. Maybe you're having issues where you just feel like no matter what, you cannot grow. You're not growing. You're in a position where it's like, dang, like I end up back at this square. Like every single time I try to grow, I always go backwards. You may have issues with your security, just feeling secure within life. No matter what you try to do, no matter where you move, no matter who you're with, no matter what job you have, you still have issues with security. And the most important, how you know, is you have bad luck. It seems like no matter what, you cannot win. Your wins become very much short-lived. It seems like you always revert backwards, or no matter what you try to do as a good person. Let's say you're just a good person. You really believe in your heart. You do good things, good deeds. You always end up with the short end of the stick. Like it seems like nothing ever really works out for you, or that is long-term. The way you know that you have self-inflicted karma is that even when you have positive things happen for you or positive things happen to you, it's always short-lived. It never lasts. It never lasts. It's always like temporary. It's always temporary happiness. It's always like temporary peace. It's always like with temporary relationships, everything is temporary. That's how you know you have self-inflicted karma. is there a solution? Yes, yes, yes. I have found a way. Over the past month, I've been going through different downloads and recognizing self-inflicted karma. Even through my own personal experiences, I had quite a few self-inflicted karmas that I had to deal with, but I had to go through the process first to identify and see how it worked. So yes, there is a solution. The solution is, first and foremost, you have to be able to identify what the issues are. So let's just say that you are repeating cycles with your finances. You have to find out what it is that's what's impacting your finances, what's impacting your mindset, what's impacting your energy. Where did the feelings come from? What I do is I go into your energy and I see exactly, it could be something, I'll pull out an example. With one person that I had here who has issues with their finances. They had depression, they had limitations, they had bitterness, they had frustration, they had disorder, and they had mental stress. It was certain areas in their body, like for example, the depression was in the heart. They had a disorder in their throat. They had limitations in their sacral. They had bitterness in their throat. Have frustration in their sacral. That's just an example. So what I do is I go into your energy. I find out where it is. What is it that is limiting you? Like, what are the places in your life that have these stagnate, that whatever you're going through where you're stagnant, I find out where it's at. We look at the charts and we say, okay, well, if you have money issues, it must be in your heart chakra. What I've realized and what I've seen, what I've determined is that's not true. You may have financial issues that may be connected to your third eye, or it may be connected to your solar plexus, or may be connected to your throat chakra. It's in different areas. So the first step is identifying where is it that you have the issues? What is it that's holding you back? Where is it? You have to find, the key is finding out where is it. You have to find out where it's at, because a lot of times we'll scan energy or we'll go for the healing sessions and we'll say, okay, we went through the crown, the third eye, we go for, again, we look at the books. The books say that if you have issues in your throat, then you have issues with communication. Not all the time. You can have issues with relationships there. You can have issues with security there. You can have issues with bad luck or growth there. It can be all kinds of things there. So first thing we do is we identify what is going on. Where are your blocks? Where is your karma? What area of your life? We identify that first. That's the most important thing. The first thing is identity. And then what we do is we go in and manually erase those things. We manually take away those fears, the sadness, the bad thoughts, the bad feelings, the bad karma. We manually delete it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to manually delete it. Once we manually delete it, we replace it with certain things. For example, with one case, I had to take away depression and we added joy to the solar plexus. We added peace to the heart. We added security to the heart. We added prosperity to the throat. So what I do is I go into the subconscious energy, find out where your karma is. I find out where the bad feelings are. I find out exactly what is holding you down. What have you inflicted upon yourself? What have you created? I get those seeds, pull them from the root, delete them, get rid of them, heal them, let them go. Then what I do is I go back into your subconscious energy and I ask your subconscious energy, what is it that this person needs in order for them to be able to prosper, to grow, to have these things, to have the security, to have the financial stability, to have the positive relationships. Your subconscious energy would then tell me what it is that you need and where to place them. So literally it's almost like it's a bait and switch. We delete the negative feelings, the negative karma, the negative things that you've created. We remove those negative seeds. Okay. Once we remove the negative seeds, we get all that cleared away and make sure it's squeaky clean, meaning it cannot come back. It cannot come back. The old ones cannot come back. Then what we do is I go into the subconscious energy, find out what it is that you need, where to place it in your life for it to grow into a beautiful plant, the plant that you need, not the weeds that you currently had, but to grow into the plant that's going to bear the fruit, that's going to allow you to finally get off of the cycle, to end the karma, to end the repeated cycles, to end the bad luck, to end the lack, to end the broken relationships, to end the sadness, the depression, to end the illnesses. I had one person who we literally switched around some things. It was connected to her illness. So we literally bait and switch. We remove wherever it's at. So I go in, find out where it's at, and then remove that, pull that weed out, and then go in and plant a seed that's going to allow you to move on with your life. This is such a powerful healing session. Very, very powerful. How does this work? So step number 1 is you have to apply. You have to go and you have to book a consultation to be able to see if you qualify. I say this to say this. Not everybody qualifies for this. If you have karma that is so deeply affecting you, where it has become a part of your life and has become a part of your true reality, and you've become used to it, almost like it's a norm to have the lack in relationships, the lack with finances, the lack in growth, and you're used to having this bad luck. That means that your seeds have grown way too deep and way too big for me to even to touch them. If I were to remove them, you probably would go crazy, to be honest, because it's almost like turning a blind person who's been blind their whole entire life and just giving them sight. It probably would be way too overwhelming. So the first step would be to see if you qualify. If your seeds are not too deeply rooted, then at that point in time, what we can do is I'll be able to get you approved. Once I get you approved, we'll go into the assessment process where I will go ahead and go through all of your limitations in all areas of your body. Now, for some of you guys, you can get it all done in one session. For others, depending on how many seeds you have planted in different areas of your life, it could take more than one session. So if you have anywhere between, let's just say, and what I've noticed is I have not seen anybody yet that only can do one session. So what happens is I will go ahead and look and see all the things. So for example, I had one person who has anxiety, depression, disorder, limitations, frustration, fear, unhappiness, suicide, financial security. Is there other paper here? Here we go. Sorry about that. Issues with wealth, shame, bad luck, boredom, betrayal, loss. It goes on. So basically what ends up happening is I'll go through all of your energy. If you have between 1 and 9 belief systems or self-inflicted wounds that you have created, then we can get it all done in one session. If you have anywhere between 9 and 14, it has to be done in 2 sessions. If you have anywhere between 14 plus, it has to be done in 2+ sessions. So it depends on how many things you have going on. So we'll do the full assessment. Once I do the assessment, of course, I'll go over everything with you. We'll find out how deep the roots are. We'll find out where they came from. We'll find out how and where it's affecting your life. And then I'll go ahead and do an assessment to see if you're willing to let them go, if you qualify for me to do this session for you. Again, it's pretty deep. So even if you don't qualify, you at least will know what's holding you back, where it is, how it's affecting your life and everything like that. At that point in time, once you're approved, then what we'll do is we'll set you up with your appointment. What I highly recommend is that you set up if you have more than one session that has to be done, I highly recommend that you set the sessions up consecutively. Like if let's say that you book on a Monday, do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I would not go more than every other day. So let's say it's a Monday. If you need to skip Tuesday and do Wednesday, then skip Thursday and do Friday. I would not recommend that you go over a week, because the reason why is because of the side effects. The side effects are very, very, very intense. And so we'll go over that shortly, but it's very important that you just get this done and over with. With the session, you don't have to pay for the session more than once. If you have more than one session, if you have more than one cycle that you have to go through, you don't have to keep paying for it. There's only one fee, one price. So you don't have to keep paying for it, but I highly recommend that you go through the whole process consecutively and just get it out the way, because the side effects are pretty intense. So that's how it works. You basically start by signing up for the consultation, booking a consultation. We go through your process. We go through what's holding you back. We go through your deepest subconscious. And then what we do is once we release or let go of or delete those limitations that you have that are planted in your seed, what we do is we kind of, it's like a bait and switch. We clear it away and then we add in the seeds that actually add to your life. Let's go over the side effects. So as we all know, healing is not comfortable. Now with this session, I highly recommend that when you do book, you book consecutively, meaning that if you have more than one, which you likely will, because I haven't met anybody yet that only needed one session. So if you have more than one session, book them consecutively back to back to back. The reason why is because the side effects are extremely intense. For every weed that we remove, it's going to affect your energy. So almost like your body has gotten, your life has gotten so used to having the lack with relationships, the lack with finances, the lack with growth, the lack with security, the bad luck. It's gotten used to that. So what ends up happening is when we remove those things out of your life, your body's like, what's going on? Your reality is like, what's going on? Your energy is like, what's going on? It's like a shock. You go through a shock. Okay. So once we remove everything, you will go through a shock. Your body's going to go through a shock. You're going to be feeling a sense of almost like kind of feeling bipolar. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. But I do want to be upfront and honest. And that's why I recommend that you book your sessions back to back to back. Again, you're not going to be charged. If you have, if you have 5 different rounds, it's still going to be the same price. It doesn't matter. We're going to make sure it's not really about the money. It's about you having the benefit, you getting everything done. So whatever we remove, you're going to be feeling those emotions. They're going to come out all at one time, like in a big explosion. So what ends up happening is once you go through the process of removal, what we're going to do is we got to fill those holes back up. So we're going to add in what serves you. So if let's say we remove heartache from your sacral, we're going to go ahead and add in the pleasure in your heart. So we're going to be, it's like a bait and switch. We're going to be removing, then we're going to add. But what ends up happening is, again, your body's going to be confused. Your mind's going to be confused. And so one of the first common side effects is you're going to be feeling loopy and dizzy and kind of dazed, almost like kind of zoned out, like you're just there. Okay. Then you're going to start feeling different emotions based off of what you already had planted within you. You're going to be feeling the anger. You might go through a process where you feel super happy one moment, and then you're going to be feeling angry and mad. Then you might go through like a point where you start feeling very kind of laughy, kind of goofy. Then you might start having anxiety. So it's going to be up and down. I'm not going to lie. It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable, but it's necessary. The side effects only last for about 24 hours. And that's why I highly, again, recommend that it's not going to be comfortable. Again, I'm not going to lie to you, but that's why I recommend that you actually book your session when you have time to go through this process. Prior to actually becoming public with this session, I did work on a few people, as I stated before, just to kind of see how it affects them. These are 2 different people, 2 different areas. So with this first client, I did ask both clients if they can, the ones I know personally, I did ask them if they could actually do a video to let you guys know what they went through. These are 2 different types of people. With this first client, she's more logical. Things have to kind of make sense and everything like that. So I worked on her first. And I want to go ahead and just share her experience so you guys know from a real life person that's already going through this, what you'll likely go through, just so you'll have an idea. So here's the first client's experience.
Hello. So I'm here to discuss the after effects of the session that I had with Candace. The first feeling that I had was that I didn't want any noise around me. I wanted it very quiet. No TV, no talking. I didn't even want my cats in the room. I just wanted to shut my door, lay in the bed, and stare at the ceiling until I fell asleep. The next feeling that I had was more of like if I had an antidepressant, the moment it kicks in, that woozy feeling, like you're just kind of floating around, kind of in a fog. I felt dizzy at one point. The other thing that I experienced was like if you was to floss and cut yourself, it kind of tastes blood. So that blood taste, I had that. And when I was drinking water, it's like I can taste everything in the water, like everything. It felt like tasted like I was drinking out of a water hose. So those were some of the main things that I felt after my session.
Example 2, client number 2 is definitely someone who's completely different. She is more spiritual. She's actually one of my students. So I tried the session on her too as well. And this is what she went through 24 hours after the session was done.
Hi, I want to talk about my reprogramming experience I had with Candace G. Smith. Yeah. First off, once she finished the reprogramming, I had like a raspy voice. It was like really noticeable raspy. Then started having this dry, bitter, metallic taste in my mouth, and I can even kind of smell the metallic smell. I had a lump in my throat. Oh, it was a huge lump. It was dry and kind of a lump right here. Felt that as my body was jittery. My head was feeling kind of foggy and like cloudy like. Once I even was doing laundry, sitting on the floor, separating my clothes, and I felt like I was actually looking at myself. I was just staring off into space, and I can see myself sitting on the floor, like what's going on. I found myself trying to keep myself busy throughout the day, like trying to stay busy around the house. I even went outside, driving around, going from store to store. Didn't know what I was looking for. I just wanted to stay busy, wanted to keep myself moving. Then I felt cool for a moment. After that, I kind of like calmed down, was feeling cool. After a while, after that, I felt like I was gonna vomit. I felt like my stomach was whirling around, couldn't concentrate, wanted to stay near a bathroom because I thought I was gonna throw up or something, but it never happened. Never happened. Felt like I had some shrooms in my body. Now you take shrooms. I never taken shrooms. But I watched this movie and it was kind of like a shrooms thing. And the guy was high and I was feeling like I was high. I was floating. I was actually like tripping. Later that night, everything was so irritating. All the kids was just happy and just running around and just jumping and moving and everything. And I just wanted the peace and quiet. I just wanted to go and hide. My body felt like it was just too much. It was zoom, 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 zoom. And I wanted to just go hide and be in a quiet space. Finally drifted off to sleep. And the next morning when I woke up, I was at peace. I was like really calm. My body was relaxed. I was at peace. Thank you.
Okay, how to get started. First thing you'll have to do is go to my website and book the consultation. That's going to be very important. First, we have to see if you qualify. This is something that I would love. I would love if I could help everybody with this. But again, some people have karma so deeply rooted that it's become a part of your everyday reality, meaning that it's so deep that if we removed it, it could be almost again like taking a blind person to having sight. It may be too overwhelming. So first we want to see if you qualify. I will go, regardless of whether or not you qualify or not, I'm going to go through your energy. I'm going to go through everything. Most people qualify. Like you're likely going to qualify because most people are ready to kind of move on with their lives. Most people are ready for that. So I'm going to go through your energy, find out what it is that you've developed, find out what you've self-inflicted. Okay, so we're going to go through the whole session. I need you to expect the session to be at least an hour long. We're going to go through the whole thing and see what you've self-inflicted, how it's affecting you, what areas of your life, how long it's been there and everything like that, what we need to remove and release, as well as what we need to add into your life in order for you to be able to move forward with your relationships, with your finances, with growth, with having great luck and great energy and great karma. So the first thing you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to start by booking the session. Once you book the session, then we'll go from there. We'll go through everything. You're likely 90% going to be approved to do it. Again, you have that small percentage where it's like, no, this is not going to be good for you. But 90% of you guys will be able to go ahead and move on with your life. This session is life-changing. It is life-changing night and day. You'll see the difference immediately. Within 24 hours, you will feel like a totally different person within 24 hours. If you have more than one session that's needed, then we're going to book your sessions. I'm not going to even give you guys an option. We're going to book the session consecutively back to back to back. What I've seen from those who've already worked on, there's one person that has reverted backwards because we did not follow up with her following sessions. And there's one person who was already on a path of healing anyway. And so she's been able to, they both needed more than one session, but one person was able to keep the energy. The other person was not. So it's very important that you schedule your sessions back to back to back so we can just get it done and over with. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you have the time. Make sure you are aware that, again, you're going to go through some things. But the first step is by making that solid decision that you're ready to change your life. You have to be ready for this. Are you ready to move on with your life? Are you ready to start to gain? Are you ready to have those lasting, fulfilling relationships? Are you ready for your money to come up? Are you ready to grow? Are you ready to get off of this cycle train? Because a lot of, again, it's self-inflicted, something that you've created. Once it's gone, you guys, once we remove everything that no longer serves you out of your life and we remove those weeds, it's gone. It's gone. In those new trees, those new plants, everything that we're planting in is going to overtake you. It's going to create and become your new reality. So first thing is go ahead and book your session, and then we'll go from there. I'm definitely looking forward to helping you guys. Oh my God, like this session has changed my freaking life. I wish you guys could just see it's changed my life already. So many amazing and great things have already begun to change, and things that I didn't even realize were things that I've self-inflicted on myself. And that's the biggest thing. That's why self-forgiveness is so important. So make sure you go to my website, book your session today, and let's go ahead and get started.